Hey there, it's Gregson. Welcome back to Shifting Lanes. In today's video, we are going to talk about the new 2022 Lexus IS, and more specifically, the IS500, and what you need to know about this sports sedan before you research it, compare it to others in its class, or buy it. And even if you're not in the market for one, stick around and watch all the way to the end because there's some interesting information I found when researching for this video that you may have never known before. In this video, we'll be going over what to look for on the IS for both new and older models. This means we'll also be talking about the previous versions, but with a focus on the newest, craziest version in the IS500. I'll show you guys some things like common issues with older models, any major service bulletins, any major recalls, reliability ratings, and what's new for the IS500 specifically. And if you're here because of this video, consider watching our other content as well. We make tons of videos at Shifting Lanes on new car reviews, other what to know videos, consumer advice recommendations, and automotive news. If you'd like to see any of those, check the description below for playlists of everything we do, or click the card above for a hand-picked video for you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed it or found it informative. Before we get into it, I want to hear from you. Do you like the IS line from Lexus? Are you in the market to buy one? Do you own one and love it? Do you own one and hate it? Leave it in the comments about anything you think about the IS as you watch. I'm curious to hear what you, the community, has to say about it. The Lexus IS hits home for us in many ways here at Shifting Lanes. First, we review a lot of Lexus offerings, and overall the brand makes some of the best, longest lasting cars in the luxury segment. Second, we actually used to own an older IS300. Our man Chad had one for many years before he sold it to get a 2015 Mustang. He still misses that car daily, and for good reason. Both it and newer versions are utterly fantastic sports sedans. Though never on the same level in their stock forms as, say, a comparable AMG or M product from Mercedes or BMW, the IS was a tunable and modifiable sports sedan that still has a cult following to this day. And ever since the older ISF came out with its burly V8, the IS community has been clamoring for a new one. Finally, we'll be getting just that with the IS500F Sport. But before we get into the details of that model, let's go over some things on the older ISs because, quite frankly, the IS500 is not going to be affordable for many of us out there. And scoring a deal on an older IS is very likely, and you can use the money saved to modify it to be even more fun. With that in mind, let's start out by talking about some of the past issues with older ISs, just in case you're not looking at the newer models. CarComplaints.com is a great resource when looking at complaints and overall issues. I frequent this site almost daily looking for information on cars to better inform you all. There are a bunch of issues for the IS across all trim types on this site, but a few of the biggest are dashboard deteriorating and tuning knob on radio goes bad on the 2003 IS300. Also, we see dash is melting, not great, on the 2005 IS300, the 2007 and 2008 IS250, as well as the 2006 and 2010 IS350. Engine failure on the 2009 IS250, and rattling noise on the 2015 IS350. Clearly, the interior materials on the dashboard are not of that high quality, as melting or deteriorating was the #1 issue found across the board on all trims for all years. It's clearly an ongoing issue, so if you're looking at an IS model, be sure to check the materials for deterioration. If you don't see anything, then you should be set. Apart from that, there weren't many other glaring issues across the lineup. Some older ISs in the 2009 through 2011 range had some engine issues, but they were not very widespread. Next, let's talk about the technical service bulletins, or TSBs, for the IS. If you didn't know, a TSB is a communication from the manufacturer, like Lexus, that documents recommended procedures for repairing vehicles, and they happen when there are several occurrences of an unanticipated problem. For example, if consumers keep reporting that their doors won't lock because a wire in the door is known to disconnect from its harness, and it's happening across many different shops or dealers, the manufacturer will look into it, and if there's a fix, issue a TSB so that if it happens again, the fix is easily understood and rectified. The manufacturer may also find fixes proactively and issue a TSB if the fix does not require a recall. For the IS, there are hundreds of TSBs listed for almost all model years. However, it's important to remember that this isn't necessarily a standard for reliability. Almost all cars, even including the Toyota Camry, have tons of TSBs for each year they are produced, so take this into consideration when doing your research. I won't go into all of the TSBs they list, but if you're more DIY inclined, it's worth poking around the TSBs should you find something wrong with your vehicle and want to fix it yourself. You may find a TSB with the fix you need and could save yourself hundreds if not thousands in repair costs with the right know-how. You can find TSBs listed on sites like Car Complaints, among others, as TSBs need to be public knowledge by law. But I will mention that if you do find something wrong with your car and you do own a newer model, ask the dealer first, as you'll likely have a warranty that should cover you for almost anything. On that note, let's talk about any active recalls that the IS has. You can find these along with other complaints, manufacturer communications, and investigation information at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA for short. The IS has many different recalls associated with many different model years, but here are a few to watch out for and the years that relate to them. For the 2006 IS 250 or 350, fuel leak at fuel pressure sensor / fuel pipe. A fuel leak in the presence of an ignition source increases the risk of a fire. Well, yeah, obviously. Next is frontal airbag inflators may explode on the 2011 IS350. An inflator explosion may result in sharp metal fragments striking the driver or other occupants, resulting in serious injury or death. And finally, fuel pump may fail on the 2018 IS350. If the fuel pump fails, the engine can stall while driving, increasing the risk of a crash. Now, I always include recall information in these videos, and I almost always get a comment on them saying something to the effect of, "Man, this is recall stuff. Who cares? Just get it fixed at the dealer for free. No one needs to know this. What a waste of a video." And well, you guys sort of have a point. All recalls can be fixed for free, so why even mention them? But you wouldn't believe the amount of people who don't even do recalls at all on their cars. According to a 2018 survey by Stericycle Expert Solutions, more than 1,100 Americans were surveyed and found that only 87% said they acted on recalls most of the time, which boils down to likely a far less percentage of people actually getting the work done. But it gets worse from there. The NHTSA itself did some of their own research and tracked recall information through vehicle identification numbers or VIN numbers. When they came to a conclusion, they found that a staggering 61% of recalled vehicles get repaired. That means a potential 39% of vehicles out there could still have a recall on them. So yeah, I include all of this for a reason. Get your damn recalls done, people. Go to the dealer. It's free. Now, the ones that I mentioned aren't the only recalls out there on the IS, but these are pretty big ones as they all involve fire, crashing, personal injury, or something horrible happening. And like I just said, people don't do recalls, so if you do own any of these models or have purchased one of these models recently, be sure to have them done and checked by your local dealer for free. Next, let's talk about overall reliability. Consumer Reports ranks the IS as number 9 in the luxury compact car segment with a solid overall score of 70 out of 100. But this can be a bit higher on the placement in the list because some of the cars in this category, like the Kia Stinger and Volkswagen Arteon, aren't really luxury cars at all, and I'm not sure why they're in that category at all, really, from Consumer Reports, so we can just get rid of them and say it's number 7 on the list. Consumer Reports also gives the current IS a 58 out of 100 on reliability, good for 6th in class. Car and Driver puts the current 2021 IS model 12th in their rankings, so clearly journals aren't too happy with what the current IS has to offer, but that should all change with what's coming next. And now on to what is coming next, which is the IS500 F Sport. And what you all really need to know about it is that this is a small, compact sports sedan that Lexus is now shoving a big beefy V8 into. And that is music to our enthusiast ears. And that's really the big news. For 2022, the IS500 joins the lineup. You can expect the current lineup to stay pretty much the same, but we're not really interested in that right now. Let's talk about the IS500, and here is what you can expect. According to Lexus, the IS500 will be the first model in the new Lexus F Sport Performance line and will provide an obvious boost in displacement and performance over the IS350's 3.5-liter V6. The engine is a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 producing 472 horsepower, a claimed 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 4.5 seconds, and a manufacturer estimated 24 mpg highway rating. The IS500 also offers more aggressive exterior styling, including a bulging hood, so you know there's some serious firepower under there, a rear diffuser, a quad exit exhaust, and a trunk lid spoiler. All these exterior upgrades are unique to the IS500 and won't be found on any other IS model, though I'd expect other IS owners to start ordering these parts from Lexus to upgrade the appearance of their cars eventually. And what might be most interesting here is the fact that they call it the IS500 F Sport Performance model. not an ISF like the previous big V8 IS. This is of course pure speculation right now, but this nomenclature could hint at a hotter ISF version down the line. We've been hearing rumors of an LCF for years now with nothing coming from Lexus, so we won't hold our breath there, but it is fun to think about. Aside from more interesting is what this means to Lexus and to consumers. Longevity and durability in the performance segment. While the Lexus V8 is legendary, it's never been on the same level as what has come out of Germany from BMW, Audi, or Mercedes. But what the Lexus lacks in top-end performance will be made up for in spades in reliability, longevity, and durability. We know of several older ISFs personally that have massive mileage numbers on them, including a few over 200,000 miles, and their owners love them. So while someone else's M3 may crap out on them after 80,000 miles, the IS500 will no doubt keep on going for many years after that. This is the enthusiast's car that you can buy for the long haul. And because this is an enthusiast-focused car, the aftermarket will no doubt be booming, so rest assured you will be able to modify your IS500 for many years to come in the future. Lastly, with all this being said, do we recommend you go in to buy the new IS, especially the IS500, if you've made the decision to purchase? The answer to that question is a big time yes. The IS line throughout the years has been a reliable, relatively fun, moddable sports sedan that has a bit of a cult following. The new IS is beautiful and is a relatively fun drive as well. This new IS500 continues that heritage and should bring the IS line into the future with performance on the mind. If you're looking for the most reliable sports sedan out there, look no further and open your wallets to shell out for V8 glory. I hope that this video does help you in making your buying decision a bit easier or has made you a better informed owner. If you want to follow us outside of YouTube, you can find us at Shifting Lanes on Facebook and Instagram, where we post about the cars we review, our personal cars, and industry news and adventures. Again, my name is Gregson. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time.